Hello, this is Olivier. In this video, you will learn how to create permission groups. Once you have managed role-based permission access, creating a group is really the first step to manage permissions in RBP. So in this video, you will have an overview of RBP configuration process. I will show you how you can create a group using combined dynamic criteria, and I will show you how you can create a group for identified users. When you want to configure role-based permissions, this is a three-step process. Step number one, you create a group of users. Generally, this answers the question who will have the permissions. Or this can also be used to define a group for the target population, answering the question for whom the permissions will be given. Step number two, when you create the role, you select the permissions that should be given. This answers the question, what permissions do we give? This can be the permission to access the instance or a specific module or feature. This can be the permission to see or edit a field in the profile, for example, or even administrator permissions. Step number three, you grant your role to a group. During this step, you simply link what you did in step one with what you did in step two. You associate your role with a group who will have the permissions, and maybe a group for the target population for whom the permissions will be given. Let's now go to the system and see how we can create a group using criteria. From the action search, I'm simply going to type permission group and select the option. I can see the existing groups. From this instance, I can sort by name. I can see that there are dynamic groups. I can see the active membership, and I can potentially take some actions from here, like copying, deleting, viewing the summary, viewing the change history, for example. To make changes to a group, I can either edit it from here or click on the group name. To create a new dynamic group, I'm going to use this button, Create New. I will give the group a name, for example, Sales in the US. And then I'm going to select my criteria. For example, I'm first going to select the country. Maybe I know the name of the country, and I'm going to start typing it and then selecting from the list below the country that I want, or I can potentially select multiple countries. I'm going to click Done, and I can check the membership. I can check the number of people that I currently have in this group. I can even click on the number 257 to see who is in this group. And I have 18 pages of results. I can add a category. For example, I'm going to add the department. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and maybe I want to select people in the sales department. I'm going to click Done. And maybe I'm going to update this membership to see if now I have less or more members. I only have 63 members now, because in this group you want not only people in the United States, but you also want people who work in the sales department. This wouldn't be the same if instead of adding a category, you would add a people pool. So if I select the department from here, and you select sales, and update the membership, you will have more than the first result, 257. You now have 259. So you add the criteria. Not only you have people in the United States, you also have people in the sales department and people who meet both criteria at the same time. So adding a category works as an AND Boolean operator, whereas adding a people pool works as adding an OR Boolean operator between the two conditions. So in my example, I'm simply going to add a category and select the department, sales, to have people who meet both conditions at the same time, people in the US and in the sales department. You can also exclude people from this group. Maybe you want to exclude some people who work in a specific division. Let's say you don't want to have people from the global services team, so you can exclude this group of users from this initial group of users. You can make changes whenever you want by deleting it or by clicking on global services and making additions or removing the criteria from here. So I'm going to cancel this one. You cannot lock this group when you create it. So for example, if you hire someone else in the United States and in the sales department tomorrow, instead of having 200, instead of having 63 members, you will have 64. So those criteria are dynamic, and this is the true power of RBP. So if you don't want this to happen, you will lock the group. And to do that, first you need to create it by clicking Done. So your group is here. And if you edit this group, now the lock icon will be available to you. And you cannot make changes to the criteria now, and the 63 members will be locked. So if you hire someone tomorrow in the US and in the sales department, you will not have 64 members. You will still have 63 members because this group is locked. That being said, most of the time groups are unlocked. So I'm going to unlock it and click Done. If I want to create a group for specific users, let's say for administrators, instead of selecting a dynamic criteria, maybe I'm going to select users or username. So I don't know the username, I'm simply going to add a user from here equal to Olivier. Click Done, update this membership. So this is a way we generally use when we need to create a group for administrators, but we generally encourage customers to use dynamic criteria. I'm going to click Done. And my group of administrators is now created, and this is visible on the second page. Thank you for watching this video.